Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today's one is super exciting as me and G are heading out not only to our first ever outing together, but we're also going to our first ever cross-country schooling session, which is really exciting because he's obviously a really talented show jumper. Like, he's been to champs and everything. Like, yeah, show jumping is just his thing, and he obviously is also an eventer, but he's done more like show jumping than eventing. So I think it'll be really interesting to see him doing some cross-country schooling. Now we're just going to like a fairly local place just to see how he travels, you know, if he is a good boy, which fingers crossed he will be, to load. I think that's the thing I'm mainly worried about. So yeah, I haven't been there in, I want to say, probably about 11 months because I've been there. I went there in September with Miyah and we did our first ever team cross country together. I've been there twice with Miyah, and you know, she's done really well there. Obviously she's not really a jumper, bless her, she's a pony club games pony, but no, this guy loves his jumping, so fingers crossed it should be really good fun. He's supposed to be a water baby, but we'll have to just see. I was going to wear my head cam, but it is literally just pelted it down with rain, and I was literally standing here just in absolute shock. And also I was so upset. I was literally like, what on earth is happening? Like, I was like, no, you have to be kidding me, because I've been out all day and we have been a little bit pushed for time because I've sort of been out every day all week. And we have had a really cool lesson the other day. We show jumped, we did a cool little combo of 90 centimetres, which I was absolutely buzzing on, so I will pop a little clip of that in.
Something's in the air, I can feel it everywhere. Every color seems to bloom.
But no, we've had some really cool lessons, and I went out for a hack on him, and he's been such a good boy for his first ever couple of hacks. So I'll also import a photo of that. But he's been so good, just trying out everything. He's really settled in because we've actually had him 5 weeks today, which is pretty cool. But no, fingers crossed he's going to be a good boy. This venue we're not necessarily going for height, not really training for anything. It's more just to see how he travels, if he's comfortable, what he's like by himself out places, sort of in, well, the cross-country schooling itself isn't in an open area at all. There is a little bit of an open field, but it's really not that open. It's nice and enclosed, actually. So this is sort of a great first outing to go together, and then we'll have to plan some more exciting stuff if this goes well. So it's all depending on this. You've got to be a good boy. Got to be a good boy. I don't think you could care less. But no. So yeah, it all really does depend on this. My rowing instructor is going to be here in a couple of minutes, so I better go and get him ready. I've already brushed him, but we just need to put on his boots and stuff. But no. Oh, fingers crossed he's going to be a good boy. Like, this venue is really lovely, but it isn't like, I think they did actually used to do a couple of small events there, but it's not really a well-known place anymore for eventing. There's sort of raised log side, and then there is a slightly bigger size, but I think, well, you never know. It just depends on his mood. But no, it is a perfect place to go for our first ever outing. And then next time, if this goes well, fingers crossed there's a next time, we will be focusing on like some more slightly higher jumps and just more of a course rather than, popping over everything a little bit. But no, it should be fun. Let's go. I'll see you guys in a minute. Mwah! Gonna be good. See you in a minute.
I wanna be up, so high, 'cause I've been down, I've been down, so down, and now I'm done. I'm aiming for the sky.
Welcome to the voiceover. So I just thought it would be nice for me to just explain a little bit, because I don't explain very much in the video about obviously what's going on. So he was actually a super chill boy, as you can tell. He really does not look like he has much energy here, and he definitely does pipe up later.
Forget you're great to me to break you. It's all about you. No matter what the others say. But now I'm done talking the lights on me. I tell you I guarantee this night's about to take a turn for the better. Now the rain is
good. Shoulders back.
So once we had had a good old warm-up, we came in and popped over this lovely log and just had a go at some combos. And he was so good, bless him. We did do sort of a log on the ground sort of thing before this. And I have the privilege of having a couple of different angles in this one, because my riding instructor was absolutely amazing as per usual and took some videos for me, which was so sweet of her. So shout out to her. He was just such a good boy. You could just see on his little face how much he was enjoying them. And I swear to you, this jump felt so big and he just clears it with so much ease. I was so proud of him. Good. Good boy.
Leg, steady, steady, leg. Just careful as you land, because it will be slippier this side. Look more that way. Good. Lovely.
Okay, so we're now going into the slightly scarier part of the forest, and I think here, in my mind, I was so used to Miyah, bless her, that I was a bit like, oh, this is bigger, he's not going to jump it. So you do have to excuse my flappy arms. Okay, so moving on to the ditches now. On the first time we went over this little ditch, he did actually step in it, but I think that's because we were in walk and he was a bit like, well, what do you want me to do? We went to the smaller side at first just to see what he was like, and he was a very good boy, bless him. He was so good. So we did that back and forth a couple of times, and again, my riding is not the best at the ditches. We just had a little go, and then I moved on to the bigger side, and he didn't really remember to pick up his back legs, but he jumped that so beautifully. And I think coming up to this, I was like, oh my gosh, it's bigger, he's not going to jump it. And my riding instructor said too that it wasn't even a stop, it was so polite. It was completely my fault, and the times that happened, it was my fault. It was me going, oh, he's stopped, he's not going to do this. I think I just had this thing in my mind that it got bigger, so he's gonna refuse. I guess it's still just a little bit of me getting used to him, and then he sort of sensed that I wasn't 100% confident, and he was like, if you're not 100% confident, I'm not 100% confident. And then we did actually move on to the smaller side just to try and regain our confidence a little bit, because I did think I put us off a little bit. And then this was just completely me just not being confident. So I was like, no, hang on, we have to do this, you can do it in your sleep, that kind of thing. And then we did end up doing it. It wasn't the prettiest, but we did both sides.
Okay. It's coming from you, not from him, yeah?
This way?
Yeah. Confident. Kick, 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 kick. Up. 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 Good boy, lots of praise. Good. Kick, kick. Up. There we go. Good girl. Big pat. Confident. Good. Shoulders back, hands down, leg, 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 leg. Good. Shoulders back, leg, leg, leg. Good girl.
So he did really like the combos. I found he really enjoyed doing like 3 jumps in a row just because it got that momentum, which is something I'll keep in mind. But here I really messed up because I kicked him and I folded way too early, and he did do a little bit of a trip, I want to say. But, you know, he's absolutely fine. I was absolutely fine. It was just my fault completely. So please excuse that. But again, it is a learning curve. Like, we didn't come here to train for anything. It was just a first outing. It was an experience. It was to see how he travelled. And we did both really enjoy ourselves. And even though I made some silly mistakes, I think we both still enjoyed ourselves. And we both came out of it alive and absolutely fine.
Good boy. Steady.
Okay, so moving on to the water. So he did actually want to trot into it, and I probably should have let him, but I was like, because it's the first time, let's just walk. And bear in mind, this water was not the most appealing. And the first time I was like, oh, hang on, what is this? Because he is definitely used to cleaner water than this. It was not looking the prettiest. We hadn't had that much rain, so it was more just of bog, I want to say, rather than lots of water. So he was a little bit unsure, but then he really nicely he sort of stepped into the bog and then walked into the water a little bit again. Didn't even really go further than his hogs, but it was again a learning curve, and we both really enjoyed ourselves. So then we came in again and did it confidently in trot, and it was really lovely.
I would try to do like a gentle trot into it, like we wanted to. We take him before I still go in the water.
Yeah.
Good boy. So gentle trot. Shoulders back. Leg, leg, leg. Leg, 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 leg. Good boy.
Probably I'm actually in the water.
I mean, there's not much water there, but yeah. Good boy. I've actually never been up that way before.
So then we went up these nice little steps because I've actually never been up here with Miyah before, and then there was this tiny little jump which I just trotted him over, and then at the end there was like a 2-way option, so you could go down the slope, which is what we did, and then there was a big drop, and we decided, yeah, he could definitely do it, but we just didn't want to risk it for our first ever time out cross country.
Beautiful. Good. Hands down. Whee!
Oh my goodness.
He went.
So here he absolutely flew over this jump. He just really loved that combo for some reason. Like, he just sped up to it and was like, we're going cross country, like, let's go. And no, I really enjoyed that combo, and he did too. Then I just took him over a couple of ditches, get him used to the idea again, and these ditches were definitely more successful than the other ones, purely because I rode him more confidently, and it was just a really nice little place to go. Like, oh, his little ears, he just loved it so much, and we had to go at this little ditch jump, and bear in mind there was a train going in the background, like literally right next to cross country course, so he was so well behaved. boy. Okay, so we are now back, and oh my days, for our first ever outing and for our first ever cross-country schooling session together, he was just the best boy. I couldn't have asked more of him. He jumped some quite high stuff, especially for our first time out, and one of them, I was a bit like, that's a bit beefy, but no, he took it all in his stride. Last combo that I redid was just his absolute favourite. He was just so happy, and he absolutely loved it. So he's got some quite muddy legs, so we've got to wash those down, but no, he's loving having some nice luscious grass, because just before we left it was like chucking it down with rain, and I was actually like, no, what is happening? Oh, but no, so we went in some water, and at first he was a bit unsure, but it was again my fault, and he did do a couple of not even refusals, just me not being forward, and he could sense that I thought, oh, these are slightly bigger, are you going to go over those? But no, if it wasn't for that, he would have just gone over them straight away. And I think my riding instructor also said that if we were doing it as sort of a 100 trial, galloping along the wall, he would have totally not even thought about it. So there is some very exciting stuff coming up soon. And no, I'm over the moon with him. He's just been the best boy ever. He was really, really good to load. At first I thought he wasn't going to go on the way home, but it turns out he was just going to the toilet, which is really good, because I thought I had absolutely jinxed it. But no, he's been absolutely amazing. I couldn't have asked more of him. He's just been the best boy ever, and yeah, just standing in the rain and then just coming and popping on by himself. He also really enjoyed himself, which I think is the sweetest thing ever, but he was epic. He was an epic boy. The girls have been really happy to see him. They were neighing and everything. He is the best boy. Like, I've had him 5-6 weeks, just amazing. And the thought of what we're gonna do this time next year it's really exciting. But no, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go get this boy sponged down, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
All over